This video is brought to you by RVshare.
I just knew that I just didn't like being in one spot for too long. And this is actually my favorite place to sleep in the whole world. It's actually the first swing out ladder tire carrier. You can put this thing on RVshare and rent it for the time that you're not living in it. What's up guys? My name is Michael. This is my van. Let's take a tour. Hey guys, this is my kitchen. The reason I love it so much is because you've got so much space to kind of walk around, especially with my dog, to kind of get around him and still cook dinner and wash dishes. Got a tiny little sink. It works for what it is, but it maximizes my living space. I've got a single induction stovetop so I can cook when I need to, and I've got a ton of upper cabinet storage and a ton of storage for food and larger things on the other side. And then I've got my microwave, which runs on the inverter when I turn it on. I've got my 12-volt fridge that runs on both 12 volt and 110. And then I've got some lower storage where I've got my coffee maker, and my largest storage is underneath the sink. So I knew I wanted the large living space, so I went for the tiny sink when I was looking for the design factor of this whole entire thing. I kind of wanted to make just as small of a countertop as possible, just so I can maximize the room and maximize the storage within this tiny little space. What's up guys? This is my bedroom, and this is my favorite place to sleep in the whole world because this mattress is the most comfortable mattress I've ever slept on. The reason I love this area is because it's super cozy. I can crawl in here and watch movies, and I've got these reading lights that are super convenient that you can use as a night light if you turn it on to the blue light there. My favorite thing is having everything that I need right at my fingertips here in the bed. I've got the heating system here, so if I get cold, I can crank up the heat right from my bed. And I've got the remote for the max air fan, so if I get hot, I can crank it open and crank up the speed if I need to. So the ceiling is cedar tongue and groove. The reason that we designed it that way is because it's super lightweight material, and we match the stain on the ceiling to the laminate that we used for the doors. Installed in this van, we have a 12-volt AC system, but it's not like your traditional ones that are mounted on the roof where it eats up some of your rooftop space. It's one that's mounted inside the van and underneath the van where your spare tire would go. And I've got vents on this floor-to-ceiling cabinet on both sides, so you get some AC in the bedroom area, and you also get AC on the living space as well. My favorite thing about this AC is it's super quiet. You could run it literally all night long and you would never bother anybody, because the only thing on the outside running is just two fans spinning to cool the condenser. So one of the necessities that I needed inside this van is a great sound system. That's why I picked out a really good brand, which is called Focal, and I installed them both in the back doors here, and then we have them in the front facing out of the sliding door, so you can use them as exterior speakers as well. And the great thing about the back doors is you could use them as interior and exterior, depending if you have that doors swung open or not. But it's really great to have a space where I can just play music and work because it helps me focus quite a bit. At an early age, I was always kind of outdoorsy and just wanted to get away from city life. And I just knew that I just didn't like being in one spot for too long. So what I did is I actually bought a van in California because I wanted to try out the whole van life aspect of it. And this was before van life was a huge thing here, you know. Kind of knew this is what I wanted to try. So that's why I ended up buying this van in Cali. I ended up building it in my parents' driveway and just by myself, you know, and built it into this tiny home that you probably wouldn't believe, you know, like a mini apartment. So I ended up going to like the beaches around Long Island at the time with my friends. Next thing you knew, we had a crowd of people just kind of surrounding the van and just being like, this is super dope. Like, can we see the inside, you know? And like, they're just like, oh, can you build me one? Like this and that. So that's kind of where I started my company. My buddy was just like, dude, you should just start handing out business cards. So I did. And next thing you knew, I had 7 vans waiting to kind of be built out of this small little shop. I quickly had to move us out of there into like a 10,000 square foot facility where we were doing like 6 to 7 vans at a time. It kind of just jumped me into kind of van life. I just loved the lifestyle and I knew this is where I wanted to be. This is my living space here. I've got my bench seat that I kind of lounge at, and I also turn this into my workspace. I've got my LG monitor here that I hook my computer up and do work there. I've got my 2 swivel seats that swivel around, and then you've got your largest storage area, which is above the captain's chairs. I've also got some upper storage here where I've got my amp that powers every speaker in this van, and this is where I store all my electronics. And the thing I love most about these cabinets is the way we designed them is we made them curved so there's no pointy corners that you can smash your head on when you're sitting on the bench and trying to get up. I guess let's talk about the bathroom. So basically this van has a hideaway bathroom. Underneath this bench, you have your hideaway toilet, which is vacuum sealed toilet from Dry Flush that you can actually vacuum seal 17 times every time you flush it, and then it vacuum seals into a larger bag which you can actually throw away. So by far the best smelling toilet that we've ever tried. And then we have the hideaway shower, which is you've got the shower head on the top of the ceiling, you got your shower mixer, a couple magnets in the ceiling inlaid that the shower curtain locks into, and then you've got your shower pan right underneath. So this is my control panel. So basically you can see everything that's going on in the van here. You got your Victron screen that manages your whole battery system and your electrical system, which shows you your battery power or your battery percentage right now, which is about 86%. So within this van, the electrical system is about a 600 amp hour battery bank of all Victron batteries. I've got a 3000 watt inverter charger, also from Victron. On the roof, I've got about 200 watts of solar from Zamp Solar. So quite literally the best power system you could ever dream of in a van. And then you've got your sea level 2, which is just all of your water storage. So there's no propane on this van. This van is entirely heated from a fuel-fired heater from S-Bar, which is actually a hydronic heater, but it's a whole kit from Ricks and Enterprises. Gives you instant hot water, instant hot heat, and also gives you heated floors hydronically throughout this van. One of the hardest part about this lifestyle is committing to the hundreds of thousands it costs to make one of these things. Honestly, the best way to try this out is using a company like RVshare where it makes it super easy to kind of try it out for a week or a month or even a day, you know, or a couple days, and just see if you like the lifestyle, see if you can commit to the square footage of living space. But honestly, when you try this, that you're gonna be in love, because if you were staring at the views that I'm staring at right now, you probably would never want to live in a normal house again. And one of the best things about this is you can put this thing on RVshare and rent it for the time that you're not living in it and make an income using it that way as well. Honestly, like when I started this business, I actually had a 2015 Mercedes Sprinter that I had built out, and I made a ton of money just using that as a rental. Literally, like, people loved it. I had crazy reviews, and I just had constant people just renting over and over again. I barely saw the van because this was not my daily driver at the time. And I was making a good enough income to live off of just from that one van. All right, so when it came to the exterior of this van, I literally did not spare a dime. As you can see, I've got your aluminous front bumper with worn winch. That's 12K. And then we've got two Baja LP6s on the front for some fog lights. On the rooftop, we have a Rome-built roof rack, which is their Safari 2.0. And one of my favorite things about that roof rack is basically it kind of overhangs over the front of the van. So it gives you that additional space that you would not have on your rooftop to mount solar. So that way you get that full rooftop deck behind the solar panels. And then on the front of it, we've got 5 more LP6s from Baja Designs. And honestly, those lights are so bright that I barely ever use them unless I'm off-roading. So also on the roof, we have the Fiamma awning that is electric that you can just push button to extend that out. On the lower section, we have our own running boards that I actually designed and manufactured myself with my company Outerly that we mounted to this vehicle as one of the show vehicles. All right, welcome to the back of the van. First, one of the features that I'm pretty proud of, it was actually the first swing out ladder tire carrier, which gives you the ability to kind of swing the tire away from the ladder so you get full access to the ladder versus climbing around the tire to get to your roof. And we are the first ones to kind of design this, and super proud of it, to be honest. All right, so here's my garage space. I did something similar to the living space where I wanted to maximize the space that I had to store items. And I also wanted to be able to, if I needed to fit a motorcycle inside this garage. So I built the mattress platform to where it can hinge up and flip up to the ceiling and lock in. And you can actually lock into L-track all over the garage space to lock in a motorcycle or a larger item if you needed to use this as a workspace or work van as well. What I did is I minimized the electrical components as much as possible, closest to the chassis wall as possible, to kind of minimize the electrical box. And the water box is actually a little bit larger because you have to fit that 32-gallon water tank inside there. But it is a wheel wrap water tank, so it does minimize that as much as possible. And then back here, you also have your outdoor shower if you need it, which is live right now. So if you did need to take a shower, you've got instant hot water from that Rixson system if you needed to. And there is a shower curtain that locks into the rear doors. You can actually sit here in privacy and take a shower if you needed to. This van is actually listed on RVshare. So if you did want to test out some of the features that I have implemented into this vehicle, please go ahead on their website and request for a rental. Right now, how I make money on the road is I've set up some consultancy agencies. So like if my customers kind of need help on the road, they can kind of hire me by the hour to kind of go through if they have issues with their vans and if they have kind of electrical issues, or even if customers are just trying to build out their van for the first time, they can call me and I can kind of guide them through, especially like the electrical system. It can be kind of a nightmare to go through that system without any help. But right now I'm actually looking for a new shop space here in Utah in the Salt Lake City area. So I'm in the process of kind of locking down that to kind of set up doing more builds for people starting here in December. So the name of my business is called Outerly, and our Instagram handle is Outerly Vans, and our website is outerly.life, L-I-F-E. So if you ever need anything, please hop on the website, give me a call or send me a message on Instagram, and I'd be happy to answer any of your questions. There's no question too small.